When I married Claire, I believed we were a team, building a life together out of love and trust. We started from modest beginnings, but through years of hard work and luck, I turned my small construction business into a multi-million-dollar company. By the time I turned 45, we had everything: an ocean view house, 2 cars, and a comfortable savings account. I thought success would bring us closer. I was wrong. It began subtly. Claire grew distant, always glued to her phone, often busy with charity events or legal consultations. She worked part-time at a law firm, and I never suspected anything beyond stress or routine fatigue. I tried to reconnect, planned dinners, vacations, but she brushed them off. "You focus too much on money, Daniel," she once said coldly. "Not everything's about success." Then one morning, I returned from a week-long project trip to find our home nearly empty. Her clothes were gone, and so were most of our financial documents. The house echoed with silence. On the kitchen counter lay a single envelope, divorce papers. I read them twice, my vision blurring. It was then I noticed the signature of her attorney, Mark Henson, her boss. The man I had once invited for dinner. Within weeks, my world crumbled. My accounts froze. My business transactions stalled. Mark had cleverly orchestrated everything: fake invoices, redirected funds, and a scheme that transferred millions from my company's reserves into a hidden joint account under Claire's name. $6.7 million. Gone. Every penny I had saved and sweated for. My lawyers called it a smart move, but to me, it was betrayal of the deepest kind. I fell into despair. My friends told me to move on, but I couldn't. I sold my cars, my house, almost everything to pay off legal debts. Nights were the hardest, lying awake, picturing them together, using my money to live the life I'd built. One evening, I went through my late grandfather's old trunk for comfort. He had passed away in 1965, a quiet man who had worked as a bank clerk in the city. I found his dusty ledger and a set of old documents that caught my attention. Among them was a folded paper labeled First National Bank, 1960 Deposit Certificate. Out of curiosity, I opened it. It listed an account in his name with a surprisingly large sum, $23,000. Back in 1960, that was a fortune. My heart raced. I didn't know if it still existed, but I decided to check. Maybe it was worthless, or maybe it was hope. The next day, I visited the bank. The teller frowned at the old document and called the manager. After an hour of verification, the manager returned, looking astonished. "Mr. Collins, it seems this account was never closed. And with accrued interest and inflation adjustments, the balance stands at approximately $8.4 million. I thought it was a joke. But it was real. My late grandfather had unknowingly saved my future. Tears filled my eyes. In one moment, everything shifted. That money didn't just represent wealth, it was redemption. I opened a new account, transferred the funds, and hired a private investigator. Within days, I had detailed reports on Claire and Mark's whereabouts. They were living together in Miami, buying property and throwing parties, all with my stolen money. I could have gone for revenge, but I chose something smarter. I handed all evidence to federal authorities, including proof of financial fraud. Within 2 months, both Claire and Mark were arrested for embezzlement, perjury, and tax evasion. The news hit the papers like a storm. Their luxurious life ended in handcuffs. When the court settled the case, I recovered part of the stolen money and watched as they faced the consequences of their greed. Claire tried to contact me from jail, writing a letter filled with apologies and excuses. I didn't respond. I had learned that forgiveness isn't owed, it's earned. With the newfound wealth from my grandfather's account, I rebuilt my company from the ground up. This time, I managed everything myself, carefully and quietly. I didn't chase love or recognition anymore. I chased peace. The betrayal had taught me something money couldn't buy: clarity. Years later, I used part of that inheritance to open a charity foundation in my grandfather's name, helping small business owners who had been cheated or defrauded. Each time I signed a check, I thought of him, an ordinary man whose forgotten savings changed my life. Claire and Mark faded from my memory, just shadows from a painful chapter. But my grandfather's legacy became a light that never dimmed. Sometimes, justice doesn't come fast, but when it does, it arrives through the most unexpected doors.